Okay, writing sample for the Tocca Ferro by Stipula. Let's write the name of the pen. Tocca Ferro by Stipula. This is going to be a steel. It's going to be a fine nib. Okay, now let's start with our swirls. This nib has nominal line variation. It is a steel nib. It's German made by Bach. Although it has nominal line variation, you can get some, but do not rely on line variation to be the determining factor on whether you pull the trigger on this pen or not. Let the other factors determine that, such as build quality, usability, which I think it's a great everyday writer, reasonable price at $180. Now, let's compare this with the Platinum Celluloid Emerald Green. This one is a 14 karat medium. Now, it's not fair to compare gold to steel, but let's just take a look anyway. Okay, this one's a medium, 14K. Now, let's do the swirls, 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 because no writing sample is complete without swirls. God, I can't stand uncomfortable silence. But I can't talk and write at the same time, because I'm dumb. Not to say anybody else who can't talk and write at the same time is dumb, but I'll accidentally get myself killed somehow. Now, if you can see, the Tocca Ferro and the Platinum Celluloid Medium 14K, they're very similar, if not identical. Compare it to a Sailor. This is a Sailor 14 karat nib. Swirls. This is a far more finer line than you see with either of the above. Gives you more line variation. It's a softer nib. Okay. And let's also compare it to our extra fine Palladium 23 karat. This is going to be Medici. I'm going to put P for Palladium because I don't want to spell out the whole thing. Now this is much softer because it's Palladium, same family as Platinum, higher melting point than gold, I think. I just messed that whole thing up, didn't I? Went in reverse order. Caused dyslexia in some of you out there. Hope not. Sorry if I did. Alrighty. It's fair to say that the extra fine in the Medici is similar to that of the fine nib in the Sailor. The Tocca Ferro in fine is identical to the medium in the Platinum. Let us see where a number 6 Yovo nib stands in this whole thing. This one is going to be the Bexley. It has a fine nib. I haven't written with this since I did the review, but let's see. Oh, look at that. Right. This is a steel fine. And this one offers very nominal line variation. Obviously, it is a steel nib. It's very nominal. This might be empty. Okay, so I didn't check to see if this was empty or not. And yep, it is empty, but I primed the feed just a little bit. I saw a bubble pop. Let's do this one over again. Okay, so now that I primed it, it has a little bit more ink. So it's fair to say that the fines are all on par with each other. I would say that the Tocca Ferro is finer of the fines. Let's see, is there anything else I can compare it to? Oh, let's take a 18 karat Yovo nib. This is going to be an Edison Beaumont. Now, all these pens, be advised, is inked up with Noodler's Heart of Darkness black, because I like how dark it is. I love the Edison nibs. I love the feedback that it gives. But this was the star of the show up here, okay? And I would say that it's safe to say that for a steel nib that's Western, it is on par with what you would expect with a Western steel fine nib. I would say it's equivocal to the Platinum. It is thicker than the Sailor Fine. That's a fine. That's an F, just so you know. It's definitely thicker than the 23 karat Palladium Extra Fine. I would say it was also equivocal to the Bexley, and it is less thin than the Edison. Okay. Oops. So that's your writing sample for the Tocca Ferro by Stipula fine steel nib. I do hope that this helps, and stay tuned for more writing samples that I owe you guys. Be safe, be well.